Hi everyone, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be discussing my top 5 old school movies. This is a tag that Nuenew the Hair Diva had started and established. And so it's a couple of us that are starting to do the tag. I had to do this tag because I'm a big movie buff, so I wanted to join in. So don't mind the makeup. I was experimenting on cut creases and practicing because I'm thinking about maybe doing this look for an upcoming hair show that I'm going to be helping out doing makeup for in a couple of weeks. And this might be a look that I might do. It's Hunger Games inspired. So although this really isn't Hunger Games inspired, they told me, just step out the box and do what you do. So I said maybe I'll do this and wanted to practice and see how it turns out. So anyway, on to the movies. So I love 80s movies. So that's where most of my all of my movies are from, is the 80s. It was hard to pick, but I came up with 5. So these are in no specific order. And so we'll start. I'm going to go by the year. So we'll start with this one. So yes, 1982 was one of my all-time favorites, Color Purple. I'm sure most of you out there have seen the movie, but it's featuring Whoopi Goldberg back in the, don't quote me, I want to say like maybe the early times. I don't even want to give a year because I might be totally off, but back in those times where they have farms and stuff. And Miss Seeley, which is played by Whoopi. She's the main character, and this movie is a movie that everyone should see if they haven't already, but I'm sure you have. So it's a great movie, and every time it comes on, I watch it like I've watched it for the first time. So let's go to my second one. So yeah, this is one of my favorites. Weird Science with what's his name? Don't even get me started on this movie. Comedy, and based in one of those, I forgot the producer's name, I think it was, but he made a lot of movies geared around Shermer, Illinois. I read about it and found out it's not a real city, but he referenced a lot of the outskirts of Chicago's references in schools like Breakfast Club and Uncle Buck and all of those. And so Weird Science is one of them. And so yeah, it's about, of course, two high school guys that were nerds that turned this doll into a real woman. And so this woman, she turned them pretty much into popular guys, and so it ended up being a happy ending. I love happy ending movies, so it's a good movie. It's hilarious. If you have not seen that movie, definitely watch it. It comes on TV all the time. So let's move on to the next one. And if I didn't say, that one was 1985. My number 3 is Mannequin, which came out in 1987. So this is also a comedy, and Andrew McCarthy is the main character, which he fell in love with a mannequin that came to life. So that's what that movie is about. Very funny, and it's kind of like a love story, but of course at the end it's another happy ending. And it's another movie that I watch billions and billions of times over and over again. Okay, number 4. This is another top in my book. It's probably one of my number 1 movies ever of all time. Lost Boys, with the 2 Corys in it. If you haven't seen this one, this is a more like a suspense kind of movie. I wouldn't say it's really a scary movie, but it is vampire based movie. And it's where the one main character, well, actually it's kind of 2 boys that move, and they try to fit in to the cool crowds. And one of them got mixed up with the vampires in town, and so it got a little hairy in the movie, but in the end everything worked out. So Lost Boys is one of my favorite vampire movies. Like Nuenew says, she loves vampire movies. I love vampire movies, TV shows, all of them. I'm just a vampire buff. Twilight, so yeah. So on to the next. And if I didn't say, Lost Boys came out in 1980. Okay, so you just saw number 5. I'm gonna get you, sucker. That came out in 1988 with the Wayans Brothers. This is one of the most hilarious movies out there to date. I was just watching it the other day when I watched Nuenew's video. And she said her top old school movies. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, which ones would I pick? And I'm sitting there watching one of them as we were watching the video. So, yeah, so Keenan Ivory Wayans and some of the Wayans brothers, you might catch them in the background. Yeah, Sean and Marlon were in the background too, if you keep an eye out. So that movie is hilarious. It's about Keenan coming back from the war and trying to avenge his brother. And so it's one of those movies that you just cannot duplicate. You can't even come close to. It's just hilarious. Every part you will laugh at. It's just, let me know, people, if you've seen these movies and what you thought about them. And I do appreciate you watching. And thanks, Nuenew, for the suggestion of the tag. Bye.